licensed women pilots of all backgrounds in the United States. That same year, Amelia was a founding member of an all-female flying society called the 99s, which is still active today. As the United States sank into the Depression in the 1930s, women working became increasingly commonplace. Wives, mothers, and daughters did their part to help their families escape the poverty that touched nearly every corner of the country. For the women who could afford luxury activities in the period, flying became more popular. By the end of the decade, there were more than 500 licensed women pilots in the country. Women's independent streak was mirrored in pop culture. Fictional heroines, even in love stories, were often defined by their jobs and passions as much as their womanhood. Take Rosalind Russell, a friend of our heroine Jackie, whom you'll meet in a moment, in His Girl Friday, 1940. Rosalind is prepared to quit her job as a reporter to marry Ralph Bellamy and enjoy the domesticity that comes with married life. But her boss and ex-husband, Cary Grant, another acquaintance of Jackie's, isn't prepared to let her go. So he woos her, not with the promise of a big house and children, but with a story of an escaped accused murderer she can't resist covering. Rosalind isn't just a woman. She's a hard-hitting reporter, and that's what Cary loves most about her. The Second World War brought new opportunities for women. As men went off to fight, women took their places in factories earning the same pay as their male counterparts. Military programs gave women more immediate ways to serve their country. The Army Air Force had the WASPs, Women's Auxiliary Service Pilots. The Navy had the WAVES, Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Service. And the Army had its WACs, Women's Army Corps. For the first time since the Civil War, American women could earn military recognition. They took pride in their work, and almost all hoped their independence would persist after the war's end. But the same government that made Rosie the Riveter a wartime icon for working women put her in the kitchen in the 1950s. After decades of upheaval from the Depression and the Second World War, post-war America focused on family values, and government propaganda campaigns followed suit. God was added to currency and the Pledge of Allegiance. A woman's role was now that of wife and mother, with ideals of womanhood wrapped up in her biology. The post-war woman married younger and had more children. Her home was her castle, equipped with appliances to free her from the drudgery of cleaning, television for entertainment, and the PTA as a social outlet. Fictional women changed too. Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, 1953, want nothing more and are consequently defined by their search to find rich husbands who can shower them in diamonds. Career woman became a dirty word. It was wrong for a woman to express desires outside her biology. Post-war America was also defined by a widespread fear of communism. Political leaders, most notably Republican Senator Joe McCarthy of Wisconsin, told the public that they should be fearful of subversive communist influence in their lives. Communists could be lurking anywhere. They could be teachers, artists, or journalists, using their platforms to advance the spread of communism throughout the world, and the danger lay in its challenge to the American way of life. In this climate, women choosing career over family were sometimes viewed as a similar threat to American family values. To this end, in the late 1950s and early 1960s, a woman declaring herself a feminist was, to some, akin to declaring herself a communist. By and large, women were suddenly marginalized by society in a way they hadn't been for decades, and minority women faced renewed discrimination on account of both their gender and their race. This return of women to the home coincided with the post-war technological boom that saw the advent of jet planes, supersonic flight, rocket-powered planes, and the first satellites. Spaceflight was on the horizon at the same time that women were barred from a number of opportunities they'd had for decades. It was the women who grew up in the pre-war years, the generation who had never known a world where so much was denied them, who took on this new world order and forced the change that became the second wave of feminism. In 1963, the year our story ends, Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique was published, which shed light on the epidemic of ennui affecting housewives throughout America. Though segregation was already being dismantled, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 guaranteed equal employment and desegregated public facilities. The second wave of feminism characterized by